So this is a commentary type YouTuber, I think. I've seen parts of this video before, but it was like months ago. Well, when I mean months ago, I literally mean like probably like I don't know. If you guys want like a if you guys want like a background of how I know about this video, I follow some guy on Twitter, and this guy likes I follow a guy on Twitter, and this guy replied to a person who talks about this video. And this person was like, this video was like, I don't know. I don't remember the whole entire conversation. I don't know. So even though I'm not subscribed to this guy, I mean, I'm using like incognito, obviously, but I'm not subscribed to this guy. One person I follow, he's like a commentary type person. I guess he follows drama around the commentary community or whatever. I'm not really part of the community because I think commentary channels are like, well, not I wouldn't say commentary channels, just more like commentary type people. They tend to be the most like annoying, super cringy people. So I don't really hang around those people just because I don't really like them at all. But like, yeah, this guy that I follow on Twitter, he knows about the entire drama, I guess, when it comes to like Just a Robot or whatever. I don't watch Just a Robot. I don't like just. I think Just a Robot is cringy. I don't take him seriously. I can't take him seriously. But this guy, no, look. Basically, when there's drama, this guy talks about it or he likes posts about it. And this video came up, and I saw clips of the video, and basically, yeah, it's network. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna see why he doesn't like the community or what problems he had about the community. I'm just gonna say, wait, hold on. This is a live stream, by the way. No one's here yet. Uh, Let me turn this up. I gotta check the fucking audio. Why you should use the R slur? This is a very clickbait. This makes me want to click on it. Wait, hold on. I'm curious. Like I'm not lying. I don't know this guy. The future of the channel, blah blah. Loyalty is a virtue you didn't know you lost. I don't know what that means. Woman of the. Uh-oh. No, come on. Is this transphobic? Look, I wanted to talk about this video, but now I want to. Okay, let me just click. I'm not gonna watch the entire thing, but
You've got ambition.
boo, come on, get this advertisement shit off. To be fair, wait, can I just look at the this description or something? This does, however, create an unfortunate circumstance because if you can't compete with a cis woman, and obviously you don't want to compete with men, where are they supposed to compete with? Oh, I see. Wait, this is still a transphobic thing. This is still a transphobic thing. When you put woman in quotations, you're implying that this woman is not a woman when she is. Okay, I think I understand what this is about. Like trans women in sports. Like this is about trans women in sports, right? I know about this topic somewhat. My opinion, like I don't know. I gotta stop talking about this. I'm getting distracted. I'm supposed to talk about this video. Oh my god. Okay, look. I okay. Look, we can talk about that later. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these are like very like. I'll say this. I'll definitely say this. These video titles does make you want to click on it. So as a YouTuber, he's doing his job correct. Like he's doing his job right. Just because like he's making me want to click on these videos. Uh P-Vibes being canceled, blah blah blah. You can't condemn what you practice, whatever this is. I don't know. These are very like I got called a pedo because this game is in my Steam. What I don't get what? Oh, my brother played this game. Is that that anime game with the booby games? I don't know. I'm being distracted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's watch the video. Let's have this. I don't know how loud it's gonna be. Let's watch the video. I'm sorry.
So, before you dislike or report this video based on the title, I would like a chance to explain myself before Twitter starts a crusade to eliminate my channel. This video is not a homophobic rant. This is about the flaws that are prevalent in the current landscape of the mostly online community of the LGBTQ.
And let's be honest, there is a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems when it comes to the community. But I think when it comes to issues like this, you have to address them like because you don't want to use certain people and try to say the entire community is like this, or you shouldn't try to say like a community like just because a few people does that. that that I somehow paint the you know what I'm trying to say. Like you have to tackle these issues in a more like responsible way because it's all about trying not to look bad. Like you know what I'm trying to say. Like you don't want to you don't want to look bad. You don't want to try like just be understandable about these topics.
I have no issues with the concept of transgenderism, homosexuality, and so forth.
I mean, that's okay. That's cool, but I don't know. Titles like this make me want to think you don't. Because when you say "Woman of the Year," this is a very transphobic title. It is. You can say it's not, but it is. Look, whatever your stance on about women in sports, trans women in sports, or whatever your stance on, you everyone have to agree that this title is very transphobic. So when you say stuff like that, it kind of makes me like I don't think I believe you because like I know this is a very touchy topic to talk about, but again, when you say "woman of the year" like this, you're implying that this is not a woman because in quotations. And when you say a trans woman is not a woman, that's just transphobic. That's just it is. So yeah.
My issues lie within the community and the vocal minority that seems to insert itself within almost every crevice of the internet and breeds toxicity and hypocrisy. Because we are in a time of history where acceptance of this topic is more prevalent than ever, it's also the most volatile time to talk about it in any light that shines the slightest criticism on any aspect of the community due to cancel culture and the fact that
I disagree with that. I do agree that there's a lot of people who are like super fucking cringy when it comes to whole like the gay thing or blah blah blah. But nah, like if you think a couple of dumb people on Twitter calling you out or not like even if something stupid, I don't think that's being canceled if a bunch of people are like calling you out or something like stupid. Even if it's valid, even if it's not valid, I don't think you're being canceled by when that happens. 'Kay, at the end of the day, if you know you're right, then yeah. If you know you're wrong, then yeah. Like I don't believe in this whole cancel culture type stuff. Uh, I just don't believe in it. I don't think it exists. Maybe okay. Let me change that. I don't think it exists to an extent that these people say it does. Maybe in some circumstances it does, but I don't think it exists on this in this in the extent that these people say it. I don't think it's that popular. Most of the time, when people get called out, they're just getting called out. It's not like they're getting deplatformed or they're losing their jobs or nothing like that. Most of the time, they're just getting called out, and that's it. Like they're still fine. Their YouTube is still fine. Everything's still fine. Like if you care about that, like if you care about getting called out, then like I don't think that's a community problem. I think that's a you problem. You know.
most criticisms are labeled as homophobia, usually because it is rooted in hate or, in a lot of cases, religion, which admittedly, religion does create a lot of homophobia. This is not the case in my situation. I do not hate gays, trans peoples, lesbians, what have you. I'm not religious. I just see flaws that I feel need to be pointed out just because they are hurting the LGBTQ community more than anything, and they aren't seen as issues due to the fact that too many people are scared to talk about the topic in fear of.
So I'm guessing this video is gonna be about like I've seen clips of this video, but I haven't like been bothered to like actually watch the whole thing. This is why I'm doing it now. But it's like, are you? So I'm basically this. So this entire video is basically just gonna be you just listing out some flaws because you want to see the community improve. And if so, I don't know. I still feel like the title of this video should be like worded properly. If that's the you know, because like why I don't like the community, like I don't know.
Cancel
I mean,
culture.
I mean, 'cause at the end of the day, you can't really blame people for like disliking the video without watching the video if you have titles like that. I mean, like clickbait is fine because every YouTuber has to clickbait, but there's like a consequence when it comes to clickbait. If you're gonna clickbait certain stuff, like this title, then like you can't expect people to like give you the time of day. Let's be honest. This is a very disrespectful title. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like we'll see how this video turns out to be. We'll see.
Or appearing homophobic. I implore you all to attempt to listen to my points with an open mind and not from a defensive perspective. This is not an attack. I only want to share my view in hopes that I can give constructive criticism to those that have long.
Oh, hello, Cook. Welcome to the stream. Uh, you're 20 minutes late. That is all good. Nothing significant happened yet, but yeah, welcome to the stream.
long been allowed to disregard it. You don't have to agree with me, but if you write me off as a homophobe or bigot, you're only proving a point, and I want to address that the issues
Well,
that
it depends. It depends. If you end up looking like that at the end of the video, then that's your fault, not no one else's.
I have with the LGBT community are rooted in mainly the last decade or so, from my generation. Hopefully you start to see where I'm going now, and no, this video won't include any funny statistics or Bible verses. I hope that I got all the disclaimers out of the way, so without further ado, my hoes and homos, let's get into this shit. Also, shout out to my homeboy James, who edited in all the models that you see on screen. He makes animation parodies, and I've
That's cool. That's all cool and all. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's go.
I wanted to talk about this one first because I know that a lot of people will see the hypocrisy of the fact that I'm complaining about or pointing out toxicity, mainly just due to the fact that I'm in the commentary community, which is known for taking things way too far in the realm of toxicity.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like when it comes to toxicity, the commentary community is far, way worse than the LGBT community. Because at least with that group, it's like there's a reason, right? A lot of people are very passionate when it comes to civil rights, so they tend to be overreactive. Some valid, some are just insane. But at the end of the day, they're still coming from like a place of like hurt, So it's understandable. But commentary people, they're just fucking assholes for no reason. Okay, it just yeah, way worse than the LGBT,
want to say that the
way
commentary
worse.
community, at least the bit that I'm a part of, does not advertise itself as a proud, wholesome community that can be accessed by all ages. I make
Yeah, what I mean by that is like it's a proud community for like LGBT people, right? So like, and I still think the community still does that though. Like I still think the community still like is still open to all the groups. So there's nothing contradictory about that.
a point to regularly point out that my channel is not a place for children in hopes that any that might be watching will know that they're not welcome and will hopefully leave to go to a safer place of the internet. I know that the NSFW realm of the LGBTQ community is gate-kept for the most part behind warnings, but I'm not talking about that. I'm pointing out that it's almost expected to see members of the LGBTQ community interacting with minors on Twitter in argumentative ways, and I can't even count how many times I've seen somebody with a rainbow profile picture
I think no, I disagree. No, I agree, but I disagree. When it comes to like porn groups or porn communities, I think that's more of a problem with that group, not the LGBT. Yeah, there are people in that group, but it's more of a criticism involving the porn side on Twitter. I think you're talking about like Twitter, right? Like NFFW people on Twitter or people on Discord or something like that. More have to do with the that type of group itself. I don't think this is a gay problem or like no, I don't think this is a gay problem. More like a porn problem. Most people always interact. They shouldn't, but a lot of people in the porn groups, they tend to like make slip ups intentionally or unintentionally. They interact with minors when they shouldn't. They act all horny and shit in front of minors when they shouldn't. Yeah, that's more of a criticism involving the porn community, not really the LGBT community. I don't think they have anything to do with that. So I think that's like unfair to do that.
tell a kid to kill themselves because in their childish ignorance they made an over-the-top gay joke and didn't know when to back down, what they were talking about, and probably were just individuals that had yet to develop their own opinions or respect for others.
Yeah, but I don't even think people in that group would support that. Like, of course, there will be some like evil people in the group that will tell people to kill themselves for like saying some shit. But like most people in this group, most people in this group right here would disagree with that. Like if some kid say some like let's say a kid make a homophobic joke. Like knock knock, who's there? Gay who? Gay have AIDS. I don't know. Whatever joke you want to make. Like let's say if a kid make a homophobic joke or whatever, or a transphobic joke. If someone would have told that kid to go kill themselves, almost the majority of the people would disagree with that. They would still call the kid out, but they would disagree with the person telling that kid to go kill themselves. So like I don't think like the majority of people would disagree with that.
other people. In their defense, age isn't something that's always publicly available or checked. The only reason I have an issue with this behavior is that people are strapping that rainbow or otherwise flag onto their profile, and when you see these interactions, you can't help but noticing those color patterns, and whether you like it or not, you start building up a mental correlation with rainbow flags and people that are pissed off and telling children to
No, that's just fucking dumb. If you build if you build a correlation based on that, that's just fucking retarded. Okay, that's called being retarded. No, okay. There are some people who act like that, and there are some people, the majority of people, who don't act like that. Yeah, some people may have pride flags or pronouns, whatever you're gonna say in their bio and their like name. Doesn't change the fact that everyone like you can't just make a correlation like that.
kill themselves. The same way you think about Mormons and relentless door-to-door solicitation. Just like people
Like no, no. If you think like that, that's just like I don't know, like that's just dumb.
that fly the American flag and then spew the most egregious bullshit you've ever heard, you start making mental links between groups of people and negative interactions. I feel like if you were going to rep a flag of any kind, you have to have a bit of a filter and stay fairly passive on most topics.
Yeah, and most people do. Most people do. Like yeah, like most people in this group does. So it like let's say look, if I see like let's say if I see well that's that fucking voice crack. Let's see if I see like a bunch of people who are like how can I make like a analogy of this? Let's see I meet people who have like purple color book bags and they have like My Little Pony on their shit, right? I meet like four people who have My Little Pony book bags on and they all like fucking beat me up or some shit just for no reason. So because of that, do I have to say like, well, I can't help but make a correlation of these people? Like, if they like My Little Pony, they most likely violent people. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you can't just do that. Like that's being weak minded to think like that. Like it's very stupid to do that. Because at this point, you can do that about any group. You can do that about any group. You can even do that about the commentary community. I would argue there are more patterns in the commentary community than the LGBT community. And if so, why have you made a video about the commentary community? Maybe you have. I'm just like, I will argue there's more reason to make that video than this video. And if you do go by those standards about like, well, if three people do a thing and it's all consistent, then maybe like if you do think that way, then you should be making videos about a lot of things because I don't think it's like very exclusive to the LGBT community, you know?
because by using a certain pattern of color and shapes, you are now a spokesperson for a massive group of people, and that
No, that doesn't make any sense. If I have like a if I like put a, if I have a trans flag and I say like the dumbest shit ever, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm a spokesperson for like the transgender community. That doesn't make any sense. Like who says this? Like no one agrees with this. Me having a rainbow flag in my bio, whatever you're gonna say, does it make me a spokesperson for the group if I say something like dumb or some shit like that? No. This is a community, the LGBT community. Okay, there's a lot of people in here. There's no spokesperson in this group. Okay, there's no leader in this group or type of leader or some shit like that. No, having a flag in your bio and saying some stuff does not make you a spokesperson. I don't know what he's talking about. Are you a spokesperson of the commentary community because you're a commentary like because you're making commentary videos or something? I don't. This doesn't make any sense to me.
massive group of people might not always agree with what you have to say, but now
Yeah.
everyone else will now correlate whatever statements that one person had with that group. I may be
No, if they think again, I think this is just wrong. To think like this, I think this is stupid.
retarded, but by holding any label, there's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with it if you're putting out your personal opinion with a label attached to it. For its own reasons, I hate labels and could talk about that excessively, but that's a whole nother video topic. I've gotten in more arguments with somebody in the LGBTQ community than any other, and not
I mean, it's a fucking advertisement. Let me just let that play. But it's like I don't know. That seems like a you thing though. Like if you're having arguments with LGBT people like constantly, more arguments than any other group, then maybe that's a you thing. Because why are well, like? Cause I need some context though. Why are those people arguing with you? You know? There we go.
joke or I made some statement about their gender or sexual orientation than any other, and not because I made some edgy joke or I made some statement about their gender or sexual orientation. And I was confused on why this certain group of people kept popping up to police my opinions. So I looked into it and I feel
Yeah, but what's your opinions? What's your opinions? You say it's not because of a joke or something controversial. It just says something like, "But what's your opinions?" I don't know the context around this. Like I don't know. Like this is vague. Because if you want to make this type of video, you have to like state your opinions about like, are you just talking about toxic? Because that's not really like a real complaint. I'll have to see like a full conversation of you like I don't know. I'll have to see a conversation.
like I found out why after being a spectator of internet culture for a few years. Because of the recent widespread acceptance of the LGBTQ community on the internet, this is a good thing by the way, if I didn't make it clear before, you should accept gay people. It became a trend to defend the community and anything that they did for the sake of acceptance, and from my perspective at least, it became the new moral high ground just to be gay in the simplest terms that I could think of.
I disagree. Like I said, like I'm aware that there's some cringy people, but like I don't think they make up the majority of it. And I don't think like being gay made you have like a moral high ground. I don't think that like at all. Like I don't know. The reason why I'm saying this is because this is like way too vague. Like he's not going to specifics. It's just statements. I don't like this because of that. I don't like when people do this. But it's like I need some like contacts. It's like some receipts or some shit like that. Like go in deep with this shit.
As a result, it became very easy to justify any opinion in the LGBTQ
Justify any opinion like what?
community, whether or not it was even related to the topics of gender or sexuality. It
Like what?
certainly wasn't all gay people that would do this,
Yeah, but like again, like I don't know what you're talking about now.
and I hate generalizing groups, but unfortunately the vocal minority creates the public image for any group. And
I disagree. If you let the vocal again, if you let the vocal minority paint the image, it does. But you to be aware of this, you have to not let it happen. I would argue that the vocal minority of any group can paint an image to normies who don't understand anything about the group. But if you understand that this is a vocal minority, if you understand that this is a vocal minority, why are you letting it affect you? Because the normies, I'm saying normies, like I know it's cringy, but like people who don't really talk about this stuff, the normies who don't really talk about this stuff, they see the vocal minority and think that's the majority. Like they think that's the majority. But if you're aware this is a vocal minority, then why are you letting it affect your view in the community? Because unlike the normies who don't really talk about this stuff, who don't aren't really aware of this type of stuff, you are aware that this is a minority. So again, I don't like I said, I just don't get it. I just need more stuff.
I'll touch on this more later. Back to the point, it became a viable option to win any argument you managed to get into by pinning the label of bigot or homophobe on the other person.
You can still win an argument if someone calls you a bigot or like, come on. Do you not like? Again, I would need some stuff. I would need some like screenshots.
This made it very easy for people to quote-unquote win arguments and have the supposed moral high ground, regardless of context or topic.
Yeah, but like what? Like what? Like give an example.
This in turn gave people under the rainbow umbrella the ability to engage in more and more topics with basically a silver bullet in their arsenal. With any
No, again, I just don't agree with that. I as someone who's like in the community, people get like they get called out all the time by people inside the group. Like I would argue there's more infighting in that group than like any other group. It's like I don't think that like people don't show that people don't use it as a criticism. I don't know. Like I will have to like see like I need to see what you're talking about. Like what topics in specific are you talking about that causes these type of things to happen? You know? Because are you just saying like every topic about because if you're saying every topic, I disagree. I don't think people in that community act like that at all. Like you need to be more specific when it comes to like certain topics. But you're just saying like super vague shit that no one like understands.
tool that you have, you want to use it. So it's in my thought process that this is why I seem to have so much conflict with the community, even when I wasn't seeking out confrontation. The bad part about being able to win any argument is the
Hello, new people in the stream. New people that I don't know. Hope you guys like this super woke agenda stream that people don't like.
that you get a dopamine hit from winning in any situation, so it becomes chemically rewarding to be confrontational. When you don't lose, you develop a power complex, and what used to just be defending a viewpoint can become power-tripping toxicity. These people can tell
This is true. That does happen to some people. But what does this have to do with like what you're talking about? Because like you haven't give like any examples about what you're talking about. You haven't like a certain topic. Like it's like you're speaking on broader terms. But if you want to go in deep about the issues, you have to be more specific. You can't just be all vague about this. You know, but you have to be more specific. You can't just like be vague. Like, of course, people like to do arguments on Twitter.com or Discord or whatever. Yeah, of course. People care about winning arguments. People care about starting arguments. Yeah, of course that happens. But like, I fail to see what you're like actually trying to convey. Like, I don't know what you're actually talking about.
themselves that I'm a bigot just for saying this, and guess what? They won, just like that. No argument that I can make can change their mind. I don't like the LGBTQ community because it easily breeds this kind of character and behavior in some people.
Like I said, this is like a thing that happens to like every group. Like, why do you don't like this community? Like, I don't get it. Like, you're in the commentary community, a place that's worse than the LGBT community. And yes, those two groups can overlap. There are gay commentators, there are trans commentators. Yeah, they can overlap. Not saying they can't, but it's like just like the entire genre. I guess I wouldn't even say the gay is a genre, but you know what I fucking mean. Like if anything, the commentary community is like is more toxic. Because to me, toxic is like the only like argument that you're trying to say right now. And because you're not being specific about what you're trying to say, all I can really say is that well, every group is toxic. So why do you don't like this community in particular? Because every group is toxic. Every community is toxic. I would argue there are more groups that's toxic, even more toxic than the LGBT community. So if you don't like this community because it's toxic, even though other like, then why do you don't like any other? I just don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me.
And I swear to God, if somebody makes this comment about how other communities and groups have the same thing, therefore it's okay,
Not that it's okay. It's that why are you singling this? Why are you singling this out in particular? That's what we're saying. Not that it's okay. Every group is toxic. Every fandom is toxic. Not that it's okay that it's toxic. But why are you singling out the LGBT community? That's what we're saying. Why are you singling out this group when there's other toxic groups, even more toxic groups? Why do you care so much about this? And why do you care about like what arguments are you arguing about? Like what are the debates that you're having? Like I don't get it. You're saying that you have fights over people about the LGBT people, but I don't know what arguments I don't know what arguments you're having. I don't know what topics you're trying to like talk about because you're being super vague. You're just using these broader terms that apply to every single group that exists. You know, because what you're saying apply to every single group, and there's not like I can't like there's not much for me to go out to go off because you're just being super vague. I mean, we do have more minutes, so maybe he'll be more. Maybe he's willing to share more as we watch the video. But right now, there's not much I can really go off. It's just like, well, if you don't like this group, then you don't like all groups.
I will shatter your fucking kneecaps. And I'm aware that more than one group on this planet needs to be self-aware.
Intolerance. Okay, look. As someone who's been in this community for like a long time, I can already predict what this is gonna say. The gay people, they say they like tolerance, but when you be homophobic, they're intolerant to your intolerance or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, this is a very stupid point. Maybe he will blow my mind. Maybe he'll make me look stupid. But I already know this type of argument. This is a very dumb argument.
In several communities, mainly political groups and religions, many people will be invalidated for what they have to say if they aren't a part of said group when speaking on a related topic, and as somebody who is not a part of any of these groups, but also has no bias towards any of them, I've never been invalidated more for saying anything than people thinking I was straight when I didn't share an opinion with somebody.
Are you gonna give like? Are you again? Are you gonna show like an example? Because like, I don't know. I can't go in deep about what you're talking about. I just can't because you're not going deep in yourself. Like I don't know.
For a community built around the acceptance for a group of people, the amount of tolerance that they show for other groups seems to be non-existent, at
That's a lie. The LGBT community is the most tolerant group like ever. One of the, not the best, obviously, but one of the like most tolerant groups ever. Are you saying like again like all I have to do is disagree because you're not really going in deep. All I can really do is disagree, and that's it. Because not much I can really go off. But that's a lie. Of course, the LGBT group is more tolerant. Like they're the more like they're the most like tolerant group on the internet. Like again, we're gonna have some people in the group that's gonna be cringy. We're gonna have some bad apples, but at the end of the day, yeah. And you can't say a few bad apples spoiled the entire tree or whatever when that can apply to every single group ever.
least in the interactions that circulate the internet and the ones that I've had. I can understand not liking certain religions.
Same reason why fortune telling hacks are vague. It's harder to prove something wrong if they're vague. I know, right? I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can't really go into deep when he's just being super vague about his claims. And he's not really showing evidence. Like to be like I don't even know what his beliefs are, and that's the problem. I don't know his beliefs are, but he's mad that people don't like his beliefs. He's mad that he's arguing on people on Twitter. I think it's Twitter. It had to be Twitter. He's arguing on people about these issues on Twitter, apparently. But he's not showing these arguments in the video. Like why he's saying people are calling him homophobic, but why are people calling you homophobic? I don't know. Why are people calling you transphobic? Like again, maybe because this is your channel right here. This is your channel. And here's a video by you called Woman of the Year with woman in quotations, implying that this trans woman is not a woman. Because if you have woman in quotations, you're implying that this trans woman is not a woman, which is transphobic. So I don't know what arguments you have or what arguments that you've been having on Twitter or whatever. But all I can say, based on this title, I don't know. Like I don't know. Based on this title, this is not really. This is a very yaxy title to me. You know, like I don't know.
Religions or political groups that directly oppose them. Why would you have tolerance for the people that don't have it for you? But at the same
Oh, I gotta rewind. Sorry about that.
acceptance for a group of people, the amount of tolerance that they show for other groups seems to be non-existent, at least in the interactions that circulate the internet and the ones that I've had. I can understand not liking certain religions or political groups that directly oppose them. Why would you have tolerance for the people that don't have it for you? But at the same time, you're only proving that you're no better than them, and
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. So if I be intolerant to someone who's being intolerant to me, that shows that I'm no better than them? No. The reason why they're being intolerant to me is because they're being transphobic or homophobic. I'm being intolerant to them because they're being bigoted. Those two different things. It doesn't mean that I'm just as bad as them. That's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. So if I call someone if I call someone like what's the let's just say I call someone I call a trans person a T word, you know, and the trans person is like, whoa, how dare you do that? Fuck you, bitch, or whatever. I'm gonna like, are they just as bad as me because they're being intolerant back to me? No. If I'm being transphobic, I look worse. It doesn't matter if they respond back aggressively to me. I still look worse because if I'm being aggressive, it's because I'm being transphobic. If they're being aggressive, that's because they're being like they're defending themselves. Obviously, I'm not transphobic. I'm actually trans myself, but like make an example. It's like no, if someone's being transphobic to you, you have the right to be aggressive back. That doesn't make you that doesn't make you just as bad as that group. No, because the reason why you guys are being aggressive is two different things. They hate you, and you're defending yourself. Two different things. Two different things. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard ever. Like no,
the only way to really be accepted by all of these groups is to tolerate them. If a
no, no. You're not supposed to tolerate. No. If someone's being intolerant to you, you're not supposed to be like. It's like if if someone want to say something bad about me, You expect me to be like, "Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so awesome. I guess I'll just be nice to you even though you're being bigoted towards me." What? So you expect me to just be happy, be all kind to people who's being mean to me, being like being mean to me because of the way I identify? Wh- Like, no, you don't see how fucking dumb that is. Like, if I call you a fucking okay, I'm gonna use a swear word for those who don't like it. So if I call someone a faggot and they don't like that, then they're just as bad as me, and they're supposed to be kind to me, even though I just called them a faggot. They're supposed to be nice to me. They're supposed to be tolerant towards me, even though I'm being rude as fuck, even though I'm being homophobic. They still supposed to be nice to me. No, that's not how that works. No, that's not how that works. That's dumb. No one does that. Not even straight people does that. When it comes to straight, like if someone disrespect you, your mom, or whatever, depending on how you are, you're gonna react negative towards that. Why should gay people not do that, but you guys can? Okay, why should we act all kind when we're being disrespected, but you guys can just act all like act normal? It doesn't make sense. You know, doesn't make sense. That's dumb.
The group that you're in is spreading hate, you're more likely to get it. It seems really common for people in the LGBTQ community to hate on religion. I don't agree with religion.
Well, this is complicated. Let's turn the volume up. You guys can hear it. The reason why most gay people, okay, that's a huge fucking statement. I'll take that back. The reason why some gay people or some trans people hate religion is because most likely those religion groups did some harm to them. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that we should hate all Christian people. Because of course, not all Christians are bad, or not all Muslims are bad, and not all Jewish people are bad. But like most religions group, they attack our group. So we have a reason to hate religious people. Like I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Like I understand it. Like I don't hate all Christians, all Muslims, all Jewish people, and I don't agree with that. But I understand it because those people must have like you must have like a homophobic parent that's religious. You must have like a transphobic parent that's religious or something like that. And because of that, you must that must like I said, I don't agree with that, but I understand. But I don't think the entire group hates the group. Like what about gay Christians? What about trans Christians or something like that? Like there are Christian people who are gay. There are Christian people who are like transgender. So it's like I don't know.
Religion, I have no bias here, but I also have no problem with religious people. It is a very easy way to set your baseline of morals and connect with a group of people. But as we know, it has a lot of public image issues similar to the ones I'm talking about with the LGBTQ community. And as a result, these two groups clash a lot. I can understand that the religious people don't like the LGBTQ community because it is preached to them that same-sex relationships
Wait, so you can understand that, but you can't understand why gay people don't like them? What? You can understand why Christians don't like the LGBT group, but you can't understand why the LGBT group don't like Christians? I don't get what? Maybe he's gonna say that after.
are bad and so forth. And to an extent, I see the side of the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community showing backlash or just defending themselves. But it is not a fundamental belief of the LGBTQ community to hate religion. At least
No one agrees with that. No one thinks that way. So
not that I've seen that there is. There's an opportunity to step up and show tolerance for religion. Not
no, everyone shows tolerance to a religion. What are you talking about? Everyone shows tolerance to religions. Like I said, there are some people who are like they hate religious people, but you have to understand where they're coming from. But most people in the group understand like they accept religion. Again, there are gay Christians. There are Christians who are transgender. Again, so I don't know what you're trying to say.
not everybody will approve of you in life regardless. You can't please everybody. If you manage to not give a group of people a reason to hate you, they will eventually have to reevaluate their stance. At least the ones with common sense. And if you're the one to do it first, it commands a certain respect.
No, no, no. Again, if someone's being disrespectful towards you, you don't be respect back. Look, if you're like having like a civil debate, then probably like, but no one has debates like that. We're talking about like one-to-one conversations that happen like on a daily basis or something, or like actions that like happen while you're outside or something like that. We're not talking about like silver debates that these Twitch streamers do, like Destiny or Boss or whatever. We're talking about like day-to-day life. I'm not gonna have a debate towards someone who's calling me the N-word. I'm not gonna have a debate or a conversation or be nice towards someone who's calling me the T-slur. No, no, that doesn't make sense.
The same respect that you're demanding while telling people that they're retarded for having faith in a higher power. I've seen interactions between religious people and members of the LGBTQ community in which the religious person said that they did not support the LGBTQ community but had no issue with it due to the fact that it had no effect on their life. A fairly common stance that I've seen, but I shit you not, and I wish I was being hyperbolic. A rainbow profile picture came
Oh no, a rainbow profile picture. No, not the rainbow flag, not the pronouns. Whoa.
out of the woodworks and told this person that they were a bigot and had no reason to support a god that said same-sex relationships were wrong, and continued to rant about why people shouldn't be religious and why the whole concept was retarded. For the better
Oh no, that one person said something stupid. Oh no, and they had a rainbow flag in the profile. So that means that's like that person is now a spokesperson. That person right there is now a spokesperson for the entire group. Good logic. This person is dumb.
part of 45 minutes. I've seen similar rants in reciprocated content.
Again, can you like show some evidence? Like I said, evidence. Can you show some clips? Can you show like a conversation of this happening? You're just being way too vague. You're just making these statements but not showing anything to back it up. Can we actually see something? You're just saying shit. I want to actually see something. Because right now, this just seems like you ranting about LGBT people. Because all these issues you're talking about can apply to any other group. But you're singling out this group for some reason. And you're not even like going in deep about the conversations you're having or the conversations that you're seeing. I don't know. Like one day I saw someone on Twitter who said, I don't really support the LGBT community. But then all of a sudden, this one person with the rainbow flag with the they them pronoun in their bio, they call that person stupid. Like who gives a fuck? Who cares? Like, who cares? Come on. Okay? And what does that say about anything? A person with a they them pronoun in their bio called me dumb on Twitter.com. Well, I guess the entire group is now cancer.
Context with people ranting about why gays are bad, and those aren't good either. But reciprocating hate never solved anything. Hating on people just because they hate you is something that I've never gotten. Even if
What? and look, this is not about hating people. It's about hating people and making laws, supporting laws that restrict their rights. Okay? This is not like, well, you hate I don't like you because of this. I don't like you because of that. This is not about this. This goes deeper. Trans folks don't like trans people. Homophobes don't like gay people or lesbians, and they support laws that restrict our rights. Okay, that's why it's important for us. Okay, we don't just say, well, you don't like me, so I guess I don't care. No, they don't like us, and also they want to take our rights away. That's the issue here. It's not just about not liking people. It's about not liking them and also supporting rights that goes against them. That's why we're so vulgar about what we talk about. But you don't seem to understand this. You think this is like some type of first grader fight or like, I don't like you because of this. I don't like you because of that. It's not like that. Okay, it's way more nuance. It's way more nuance. I don't think you understand what you're talking about. I just don't think you understand. And again, you're being super vague, so I have to ramble. I have to like try to guess what you're talking about because you're not really going in deep about anything. This is a very stupid video.
you don't agree with a lot of things that people do or the people associated, you have the opportunity to be the bigger man. In a lot of situations, it's the better idea to let somebody just hate a brick wall. I'm not saying to not defend yourself, but
that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You can't say when you say stuff like that, you're saying not to defend yourself. That's what you're saying. You can't say that stuff and just say not. No, that's what you're saying. You're telling people not to defend themselves. That's what you're saying. Just be honest. You can't have it both ways.
Context is extremely important, and in most cases that I've seen are just two people of different ideologies flinging hate at each other without saying anything of substance. This, I think, should be avoided in my opinion. This point can be repeated for several groups, mostly political, but I don't like politics, and I don't want to even touch on or
Yeah, but it doesn't matter though. If you don't like politics, I don't know how loud. I'm sorry if I keep doing this. I don't know how loud this is. when you talk about LGBT issues, that's political. You can't talk about these issues and not be political. That doesn't make sense. This entire thing is political by default. So you can't you can't say you don't like politics or you don't like no. If you want to talk about this, you're gonna have to talk about politics. That's just how it is.
defend hate on either side of the spectrum in that field with a 10-foot pole. Personally, I think everybody should avoid that topic. To get to the point here, there's
No, disagree.
a bit of hypocrisy that I see in the LGBTQ community, seeing as the reason they put their flags everywhere and the reason we have Pride Month is to create awareness and spread tolerance for the individuals in the LGBTQ community.
Well, yeah, spread awareness. Well, to spread awareness, to spread tolerance towards people in the group, and to appreciate the accomplishments that we got so far. Yeah.
Yet people stand behind these flags and show intolerance for other groups just because
No, they show intolerance towards people who's being intolerant towards them, not just to groups. That doesn't make any sense. And very weird thing. I want to talk about this video, but it's I don't know. If you're saying stupid shit in this video, I want to know what you're saying here.
because they don't show support for them. If you tell somebody that they have to like you or they're a bad person, when they're already skeptical of whether they want to tolerate you or not, do you think that they're going to be more likely to show you support and
Who cares? Who cares? Come on. We're, I don't know.
research your ideologies so that they can better understand it? Or do you think that they'll lose all respect for you because you demanded that respect for
Do you think? Okay. Here's a question. And I know he's not watching, of course, but here's a question. Do you think if we start being nice towards people who's being mean to us, do you think that's gonna make them be more tolerant towards us, or do you think that's just gonna make them think that's okay because we're not saying anything? Like, do you really think if we start being more tolerant towards people who's being intolerant towards us, do you really think that they're just gonna be nice to us now, or they're gonna be more willing to learn? I don't think so. If anything, it would just make them seem like we're not gonna fight back, so they're gonna keep being more acting that way. I don't know.
first without giving them a reason to show any. Give people a reason to respect you besides just the fact that your associated group has lacked said respect in the past due to widespread discrimination. The amount of respect a group gets will be based off of the least respectful person in that group, especially if the group
This is dumb. This stuff requires more nuance to understand, and I don't think he understands anything he's talking about. It's just well, if you want people to be nice to you, you be nice to them, but it's not. It's way more complicated it's way more complicated. I don't know, man. It just seems like we have an issue with the community itself.
group supports that disrespectful person. Each and every person has the ability to set that bar. So if you want to preserve an image, you will have to unfortunately stop supporting certain people. I know that the LGBTQ community is inclusive to
Hold on, someone's knocking.
all individuals with a sexual or gender identity that is different from the norm or is just not straight. And there's a belief that somebody's actions should not exclude them just because their identity does not change.
What's happening?
Honestly,
Whoa, lame. Oh look, never mind. Look at
that
that.
distract.
Gay rights, yay. That's epic.
That there's a certain point where a group
Okay, I kind of lost track what he's talking about now because of the whole advertisement thing.
sexual or gender identity that is the LGBT. If you want to preserve an image, you will have to unfortunately stop supporting certain people.
If you want to preserve an image, you're gonna have to. Are you talking about again? This is nonsense. If anything, this seemed like an excuse not to support the group because you see some idiot with a flag saying something. Again, that doesn't make something. Yeah. So you're saying that if you want to, I guess I'm guessing you're speaking about yourself, right? You're trying to preserve your image by not associating with this group because you believe this group is toxic, even though every other group ever is also toxic. In fact, the group you're also in is even more toxic than that group. Even more toxic, even more hive mind. Okay? And the commentary community is very hive minded. Very, okay? They don't think at all. They don't think for themselves. They're very toxic. Most likely very sexist, homophobic, and transphobic. And I'm not yeah, if you go in those groups, go into the Discord servers, you can pretty much say that. I don't know. Like these group, like if anything, the commentary community is way more toxic than anything else.
I know that the LGBTQ community is inclusive to all individuals with a sexual or gender identity that is different from the norm or is just not straight. And there's a belief that somebody's actions should not exclude them just because their identity does not change, but I think that there's a certain point where a group can strip that label off of somebody for their actions, just like you can
No.
get kicked out of a church or dishonorably discharged from the military.
Yeah, but like that's not how it works, though. But at the end of the day, you're still gay. You know, you can't really be like get kicked out. It doesn't work like that. Like you can get kicked out of the military or get kicked out of a church. Can't really get kicked out of the LGBT community. You're still a part of that group. Either way.
There have been a lot of cases where I've seen the community defend somebody with objectively reprehensible actions just because they were in their community. I don't like the LGBTQ community because it enables individuals that show intolerance for other groups and justifies their actions in a way that would not be offered to a normal person.
So you don't like the community because they show intolerance towards groups who are not intolerant towards them. That's the entire argument you're making. And that argument itself is just dumb. Because I already said it before. If someone's being intolerant towards you, you don't be tolerant towards them back. That doesn't make any sense. Bad apples make the bunch. You could say this about any other group. Okay? Any other group.
I feel like this segment is really important as I do wholeheartedly believe that most people within the LGBTQ community are good people and don't partake in the actions that I've previously talked about.
But the few bad apples make the entire community look bad, so I don't support it. Even though you can, again, I'm repeating myself because you're saying the same shit. You could say it differently, but you're still saying the same shit. You know. Again, you can say it about any other group. What? Like, are you not like like are you not like I don't support the black community because there's some black people on Twitter that's cringe. No one says that. Come on. Black people, they have an entire month for themselves. They do this, they do that. No one acts that way about that. So why are we acting this way about this?
I think with any group of people, there will be bad apples, but it is in my belief that the vast majority of people are kind-hearted and have good intentions and actions, or at very least have the ability to be. Unfortunately, like previously stated, the vocal minority will create the image of the group if it's allowed to thrive, and it seems like the LGBTQ community will defend individuals that stay in their name instead of distancing.
No, nope. Like I said before, there's a lot of infighting when it comes to the LGBT community. We do not just shield everyone who say stupid shit, okay? People fight all the time about issues, about policies, about all that other shit. So no, this is like wrong. Just like you're easily not you're probably not either in the group, and if you are in the group, you're just saying you just don't understand what you're talking about. No one just defends. No, the group doesn't just defend all the bad apples. They don't. So we fight all the time about policies. We fight all the time about actions, about when people do some stuff. No, like the whole map thing, like the whole like map, like the Twitter map thing, like the minor attracted person or whatever. Like the entire community, like kicked that shit out. Like they kicked that shit out. But yeah, there are some people who wanted to fit in, who wanted to like bring that into the entire thing. But like no, people kicked that shit out. I don't think we're like a hive mind thing. That we're just going to defend every action ever. No, that never happens. Never.
Themselves from those people, which is an issue that I think they need to work on. You can't really prevent somebody from representing your community that I'm aware of, but I think there are very obvious cases where other members need to step in and condemn the actions of other members that are putting a bad image in front of their.
Which they do. They always do. Like, I don't think you're around. You're either just not in the group, and you're just mad because someone called you like transphobic or something on Twitter, so you made this video. You don't understand what you're talking about. The stuff you're saying are factually wrong. Fuck off, OBS.
flag instead of defending them because they have that flag. I also have to acknowledge the right-wing media attention that the LGBTQ community gets and the negative image that that coverage gives it. Yet I also can't deny that their media attention only really gets consumed by the people that are already circle jerking on the topic and mostly falls on deaf ears when it comes to common sense. The people that will develop an opinion on this topic from watching this coverage are going to be the impressionable youth, and I don't think that that gets recommended to this demographic too often. I also think that our most recent generations are moving away from mainstream media outlets that have an agenda to push and are forming their opinions elsewhere. I don't like the LGBTQ community because it doesn't get rid of bad apples unless it's under extreme circumstances.
Again, this is just wrong. You don't understand what you're talking about. It's like you're speaking about the group even though you're on the outside of the group. You're not even on the inside. You're on the outside, and you're speaking on issues you know nothing about. Not to say you have to be inside to know things. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people who say, well, if you're not gay, you can't talk about gay issues. Or if you're not trans, you can't talk about trans issues. Like, I'm not that type of person. But at the end of the day, it does show when someone's not really. I don't know. It does shows. If you are part of that group, then you need to be more aware about what's actually happening. Because at the end of the day, it just seemed like you're mad. It seemed like you're mad because some guy called you homophobic, and now you make this video because you're angry. That's it. Nothing of substance was actually said in this video at all.
Usually when pedophiles become involved, but for the most part, they keep the bad apples for the sake of having more apples. I'm overusing the analogy, but the point is that these bad apples are allowed to ferment instead
Again, not true.
of being thrown out.
And if anything, this issue is more common with the commentary community. Just like, why are you singling out this group when there's like more examples of like way worse examples of this issue you're talking about? I don't know. If anything, it seems like you have it out for this group in particular. I don't know. I mean, based on this title again, I don't know. Based on this title, maybe so. Who knows?
Out.
This is final thoughts. This is just gonna be like in conclusion or something. So we don't have to watch this video. At least the rest. Right?
I wanted to go into this without using any quote-unquote silver bullets to say, like quoting Bible verses or using misleading statistics to prove a point. It isn't my intention to go after sexuality or
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't mind. This is more like yeah, we get it. But yeah, this video is like dumb, very stupid, and that's it. Like I said, this video was like super vague. You can't really understand anything he was saying because he never really goes in deep into anything. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like you're supposed to just agree with everything he's saying just because he's saying it, you know? Because you can't really go in like because he's not really saying anything. You can't really respond to anything. So all these people right here in the comments, I'm pretty sure they're just agreeing. Again, no one's really going too deep about everything. It's just like, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Yep. If you enjoyed this little small thing, then whatever. If you don't, still don't matter.